Hey, after watching this video, check out the new PhoneDog.com homepage and play the One Pod Bandit for your chance to win free phones. So here's ESPN mobile web on both devices, and you can see, you know, the looks a little bit bigger on iPhone. It's a bigger display, but the pre a little bit brighter. It seems right here. You know, the white looks a little bit whiter to me. I don't know if this is coming through in the video. The colors just look like they're popping just a little tiny bit more. Both phones can go accelerometer into widescreen mode. Oh, apparently I hit something on the iPhone when I was doing that. Oops, we don't want to watch a movie. So we'll go to, let's go to the PhoneDog site on both devices. And so while I'm doing this by way of showing you, you know, how the screens work, I will get in a little bit to the web browser here. You know, and this is where you have to start to take into account that the Pre is a Generation 1 device. It's a brand new platform as well, first generation of the web OS. And so the Pre, I think, you know, it's going to be, on the one hand, it's maybe not fair to compare a Generation 1 device to the iPhone, which is now in its, this phone is actually running iPhone OS 3. So it's, you know, third generation. On the other hand, these are the two devices that are out on the market right now for you to choose from. So it is a fair comparison because, you know, you're spending your money. You want to know what's available. So that being said, I think you're going to see rapid improvements in the pre-web OS and some of the apps coming soon. The web browser is a place where I think, you know, there's a little work to be done. They're both based on WebKit, so they should be similar. You can see on the PhoneDog page, at least, that black bar on the top of the screen there doesn't render all the way across the phone on the Pre. You can see right up there above the PhoneDog logo, whereas on the iPhone it does, and that's the way it's meant to be. That's how it should look. So, you know, a little bit of a thing there. I personally find the iPhone has a built-in RSS reader, so if I actually go in my bookmarks, because it's set up, I can go to the PhoneDog RSS feed, and the Mac.com reader will give me the RSS feed. There's no RSS reader yet available for Pre for WebOS, so that's something to take into consideration. Might not be a big deal to you, might be, but just something that I use a lot and I noticed pretty quickly. Also, the iPod, since it's been around, it's so popular, the iPhone, lots of sites now format, if they have videos, they'll include an MP4 version that can play on the iPhone. The Pre doesn't have that. I have not been able to find, maybe I'm just missing it, but I haven't been able to find a website that has a MP4 videos that will, I'll get videos in the Pre where I'll click it and it'll open up in the media player, but it won't actually play. I'll get an error that's not compatible. Whereas on iPhone, you'll get those, like you started to see on the ESPN site, there was a video that started to load. Again, I think, you know, the apps, the pre-Core OS is pretty solid, and we'll get to that a little later, but I think you're going to see with the apps, lots of refinement, lots of improvement coming soon. Both the core apps like the web browser and the media player, and then also third-party apps as well. So you get the same mobile login site on both devices. Now on the iPhone, you get the link to the regular Facebook site. On the Pre, you don't on the login page. Let's see what happens after I log in. All right, and so here's my Facebook homepage on both devices, and you can see, you know, the iPhone here on the right is able to show just a little tiny bit more information. You can sort of see the top of that photo down at the bottom, but the mobile version of the page shows up, you know, basically exactly the same on both devices. Again, the Pre looks a little bit brighter to me, the screen. The iPhone shows a little bit more in the way of real estate, and you can flick through and we'll hit full site there. We'll see what happens if I hit full site on both phones. I don't get the full site option on the Pre. So again, that's something I expect will change in the future, but for now, you know, I can go full site on the iPhone, the Pre not letting me do it, at least directly via the link. You might be able to trick it via URLs, but I'm not going to do it that way right now because I want to show you what it's like just to kind of pick the phone up and use it without, you know, being a super phone nerd necessarily. So there you go, a little bit on the web browser. One other thing on the web browser to mention is that while both phones work in widescreen mode, there's no way to enter information into the pre in widescreen mode. In other words, on the iPhone, I can do, I can hit, so let me go back here to the mobile version and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So on the pre, if I hit search, and I want to type a name in, I have no keyboard. There's no virtual keyboard right now on the pre in widescreen mode. And so what I need to do then is I need to open the phone up and tilt it back, and now I can type in. I suppose I could type in actually holding the phone in widescreen, and if I wanted to look for some guy named Dan, I could do it typing in, but I have to kind of look, to the left. Or, look, what I mean, sideways. On the iPhone, obviously, or maybe not obviously, but on the iPhone there is a widescreen keyboard, and so I can click in a text field and I can type this way. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Again, I think in over-the-air, Sprint's going to be rolling out, Sprint and Palm are going to be rolling out over-the-air updates to the web OS, I think pretty quickly. And, we should see some refinements in things like widescreen browsing, RSS feeder, hopefully, that kind of stuff on the pre. So there you go, the web browser, I give a nod to the iPhone right now. They're very similar, but the iPhone web browser a little bit more refined, and a little more you can do with it right now. RSS feeder, widescreen text entry, and iPhone browser formatted MPEG for video files that play. So, there you go. All right, who's the winner? Who's the winner? Everybody wants a winner. Is it the Pre? Is it the iPhone 3G? Well, like I often do, sometimes there's just a clear-cut, obvious winner, no problem. Most of the time, because these devices are so sophisticated and there are 85 million different choices with platforms and form factors and networks and all that stuff, plus the fact that networks perform differently depending on where you live and work and use the device, oftentimes it comes down to this. It kind of depends on what you want out of the phone. I will say this right now. These are both excellent devices in my opinion. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. The big glaring difference right now is that this is the second generation iPhone and the third generation iPhone is literally less than 2 weeks from being launched. This is the very first WebOS device, the very first Palm Pre. So the iPhone has, a leg up in terms of just getting the bugs fixed, refining the feature set, and obviously in terms of apps. 50,000 plus apps, whatever, 1 billion apps downloaded for the iPhone OS. Palm Pre just out of the box, a couple dozen apps out there, just getting started. That being said, this is what I'll tell you. First of all, in terms of value, in the United States, the Pre is a better value over the long haul if you're getting an unlimited plan. You can go, there's a site called billshrink.com, you can check them out. They have a nice rundown of the actual cost of ownership, not just the $99 or $199 up front, but the whole, what you're going to spend in 2 years with the phone, the service, all that stuff for these and a couple other phones. And if you get an unlimited plan, the Pre on Sprint is over $1,000 less, I believe, than the iPhone on AT&T in the US. So that's something to consider up front. Also, again, it depends where you live. Right here in my neck of the woods, my testing, the Pre blew the iPhone away in terms of voice and data performance. The flip side is there are battery issues with the Pre that they need to get worked out, some stuff, some bugs, who knows what else, always ups and downs, whatever. So it just depends where you use it. Check out the network coverage definitely before you invest, if you can. That being said, here's what I'll tell you. I think that the core OS, I think that the web OS on the Pre is just an incredible start, and I think it's got a leg up on iPhone OS right now. It looks more modern and it acts more modern. It was built for multitasking. I think there's a little bit more of a learning curve. It's not much, but the iPhone's dead simple. You hit a button, you press home to end, and that's kind of it. The new, when they get the push notifications and that stuff going, it'll be a little more to it. But for version 1, man, the Pre WebOS is really great. Some tweaks again, like I said, bugs to stomp. Built for multitasking. The graphics are great. I think the fonts look really nice, easy on the eyes, and it's new. It's fresh. iPhone, it works. They've been working on it. They're refining it. They're adding features. Some great new features. Some features perhaps that they should have added a year or two ago. And then it's incredibly extendable through the, the tons and tons of apps that are available and the whole iTunes ecosystem for purchasing and downloading, music and videos, podcasts, that kind of stuff. Whereas with the Pre, it's a smaller ecosystem of apps. The Amazon MP3 store, not the same selection that the iTunes store has with, music, video, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. But I think you'll see developers, I think you'll see podcasting apps, you'll see video stuff. I'd be surprised if Palm or Palm and Sprint aren't working on a deal with somebody for video. Plus, you've got Sprint TV on there, if that's your bag of tea, cup of tea, ball of wax. You know what I mean, bag of tricks. So, anything that you want to do, really, you can do on either phone. It's just a slightly different experience. For multitasking, for being hyper-connected, always knowing when your messages are coming in, that kind of stuff, I think Pre's the choice. For multimedia consumption, iPhone's the choice. But they're both good at the other thing as well. And again, we have to see when Apple flips the switch on the push servers and new apps come out built for iPhone 3.0, it could be a new ballgame. That being said, though, visually and in terms of features, iPhone's been kind of stagnant for a little while now. A little bit of backlash in the community from some people with the new 3GS not having, like whiz-bang new features. I think Apple's strategy there is to, instead of tons of new features, they're integrating everything with all the apps. Be interesting to see with the video recording how seamless that is in terms of uploading and sharing and other things you can do with it, especially if you're a Mac owner. Anyway, there you go. Not a clear-cut winner, but, Apple, look out a year or two down the line because WebOS is coming after you and Android's coming after you. I think this fall is going to be big for Android, make or break time, but finally we'll see the G1, the HTC built devices, the G1, the Magic, the Ion. They're great devices, but we need more Android stuff out there. HTC's got some new stuff coming out. PhoneDog John, he's our Android man, so check out his coverage. He'll be in London June 24th for the big HTC event, and then you're going to see lots more Android devices have been promised from all kinds of different companies coming this fall. Don't forget about the new Blackberries coming out, the Tor, the Storm 2, who knows what else, the Onyx, and then Symbian Foundation, looking for those first Symbian Foundation phones later this year. Nokia and Sony Ericsson have a lot riding on those. Should be a very, very busy, interesting summer and fall season in the smartphone world. There you go. Check out the first three videos of the Dogfight for more on the in-depth on all these phones. Obviously, you guys know a ton, so comment, discuss, talk back and forth. Hit us up on PhoneDog, hit us up on Twitter. Check out PhoneDog Aaron. Aaron, Tom, and Rebecca all have been using the Pre, so check out their coverage on the site as well, see what they think, because I'm just one guy, all right? That being said, on behalf of the whole PhoneDog team, I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. Thanks to Sprint and Palm for the loaner. I got to give it back to them. It's not mine. I don't get to keep it. It's a loaner. I give it back. That's how it works. The iPhone, we didn't get a loaner when it came out, so we bought it. So that's a little bit different. But, we got some Pre's floating around the PhoneDog offices, so we can keep you covered on all the developments as they come out. Till next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.